Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vitvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. बोलिए श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं. ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः. Hari Om. Welcome to this 47th week of Vision of Vedanta. We are looking into this text, the 15th chapter of Panchadashi by Sri Vidyaranya, Swami Vidyaranya. The name of the chapter is Brahmananande Vishayanandah. Vishayananda is the joy that we gain from experiences of sense objects. Brahmananda is that bliss which is ever there, which is already there. So we saw into 12 verses since yesterday. The action of the consciousness is to illumine, yet in sattva it is deeper, and in rajas and tamas only knowledge is illumined. Knowledge means chit aspect. In sattva, sat, chit and ananda. Sat means existence, it is. Chit means knowledge, as what it is, that knowledge is revealed. Ananda is, it gives the experience of bliss also. Whereas in the rajas and tamas, the ghora and muda vrittis or states of mind, only sat and chit are illuminated. We don't experience Ananda in rajas. Rajas means constantly being in activity. Nobody likes working all the day, working throughout the day. It manifests as stress, as tiredness, traumatic experiences. Everything come out because we are engaging in lot of action. That is ghora or rajas. Muda is inertia. In inertia also we don't experience joy. It is a very temporary, it is an absence of sorrow that we experience in the state of sleep. We don't experience joy positively, but we experience absence of sorrow because there is an absence of thoughts. We have only one thought throughout the time of our sleep, and that thought is, I don't know any thought. I don't experience any thought. So that is a thought we experience. And since we experience the I don't know thought, we are not aware of the presence of the sorrowful thoughts, and that is why we experience joy when we sleep. So it is a negative state of happiness where there is no sorrow. In this 13th verse, na ghorasu na mudhasu sukhanu bhava ikshyate shantasvapi क्वचित् कश्चित् सुखातिशय ईक्ष्यताम्. Na ghorasu. Ghora means disturbance, agitation, or ambition, desire, anger, hatred, jealousy, where we engage with thoughts and emotions which consider the presence of the world outside, and we are engaging in those thoughts and feelings and emotions. So that is ghora. Mudha is inertia. Na mudhasu. Even in inertia, sukha anubhavaha. We don't have the experience of joy. Na ikshyate. It is not seen. Shantasu api. Even in calm thoughts, even in sattvic thoughts, kvachit kaschit. Kvachit kaschit means a little bit at point of times, at some other time, some time or the other. Shantasu api, even in serene thoughts, to a greater or lesser degree. There is a taratamya. Taratamya means there is a difference. There is a difference in degrees of joy that we experience. All joy is not the same joy that we experience. It is not a blanket experience of joy. If I eat chocolate, or if I eat a chocolate cake, if I eat an eggless chocolate cake, if I eat an ice cream, if I have ice cream in a state of anger, or if I have ice cream in very good company, if I'm feeling very safe and I'm experiencing a movie in safe conditions, if I'm experiencing watching a movie under traumatic circumstances, it may be the same movie, but the difference of joy that I experience will be different. So, na ghor shanta swapi kvachit kaschit. Little bit here and there, the joy is not uniformly experienced, but it is now and then, little bit here, little bit there, sometimes more, sometimes less. There is a degree of difference. Sukha atishaya ikshyata. Atishayaha. The happiness is experienced in very different ways at different periods of time. How does Rajas and Tamas, Gora and Mudha, Vritti, or the condition of mind, the movement of mind, how do they veil the expression of bliss? The expression of bliss is there, but it is covered by Rajas and Tamas. How? गृहक्षेत्रादि विषये यदा कामो भवेत् तदा राजसस्यास्य कामस्य घोरत्वात् तत्र नो सुखम्. In Rajas and Tamas, sukham is not experienced, joy is not experienced. So when we have Rajasic thoughts of griha kshetradi vishaye, it may be for house, it may be for land, or it may be for a car, or it may be for admission in a foreign university, it may be for getting nice clothes, it may be for having a beautiful experience of our choice. Kshetra adi means etc. All desires from land, from house, etc. Yada kamo bhavet tada. When there is desire, rajasasya asya kamasya. The desire is rajasic in nature. Rajasic means changing, dynamic, transforming, modifying. Now here, now there, now gone, come back again. It is very disturbed. Kamasya ghoratvat. Since in Ghora, in Rajas, you cannot experience that bliss, in this desire, which is Rajasic, we are not able to experience bliss because the desire itself is Rajasic. When you desire for something, it is our common experience. Suppose I desire for a chocolate cake, my whole day is spoiled because that desire is so strong that it begins to work to procure the chocolate cake for me. And because of that, I am not able to focus on anything else because all my attention has given importance to something else that is not there with me. And so the body, mind, and intellect are geared. The engine is geared towards getting something. And till I get it, there is going to be no peace because there is disturbance of mind. And disturbance of mind leads to disturbance in body. Disturbance in body leads to actions, and actions lead to results. And until that result comes, I am not going to be happy. I am not going to experience joy or sukham because until that result comes and my mind drops the need for that desire, actually the mind experiences joy not because of that chocolate cake, but because after having the chocolate cake, temporarily the mind drops the need for that desire. That desire is fulfilled. So the mind does not have the need for that desire. So since the desire is gone, I am in Sattva Guna, and in Sattva Guna I experience joy. This is the dynamics of experiencing joy. So if I want joy, one way is to fulfill the desire, but fulfillment leads to a temporary state of quietude, because the desire is fulfilled. I may have desire, for example, if it is foodstuffs, the desire is never satiated by eating once. We don't eat one chocolate, or we don't drink one cup of coffee, or one cup of tea, or one bottle of soft drinks, or one one trip in a nice five-star hotel. We don't get, the desire does not quieten because of that. Every time there's an opportunity for a five-star hotel eating, or for eating all these tasty foods that we like, every time the desire arises, and every time it has to be fulfilled. So these desires, so either it can be desire for the same thing again and again, or it can be a new desire. When we get bored with um, enjoying something on and off, then we the a new desire springs up, because the mind always wants something fresh, something new. 14th verse. Siddhyena vetsyati dukkham asiddhau tadvivardhate pratibandhe bhavet krodha dvesho va pratikulyatah. So this is an anatomy for experience of joy and sorrow in our life. What is the anatomy? The anatomy of desire is being split up. Why desire leads to sorrow? Siddhyet na vetsyati dukkham. If the desire nava itsyati, iti asti, iti asti, siddhyet nava iti asti dukkham. Whether the joy is fulfilled, or whether the desire is fulfilled, or even when the desire is not fulfilled, siddhyena vetsyati dukkham. If the desire would succeed or would not succeed, iti asti dukkham, there is misery. When I have a desire, whether I will win or whether I will lose, whether I will get it or whether I won't get it, there is anxiety. Whether it is going to come, or whether it is going to come the way I want it, or whether I'm going to get less of what I want, or whether I will get more of what I want, or whether I will get the opposite of what I want. All these thoughts come up. Siddhyet na va iti asti dukkham asiddhau tat vivardhate. Suppose really it happens and I don't get it at all. I don't get what I desired, which means asiddhi. I don't manifest the desire. Tat vivardhate. This is where Vedanta differs from the modern day new age methods, which teach us to go after our joys in life, go after manifesting our desires. The new age methods like law of attraction. One moment, please. The new age methods like law of attraction, etc., which teaches methods and ways to manifest our desires. It is only teaching us to live a life of desires and live a life of discontentment. It serves the market, because the market in the world is happy only when we are discontented, when we have fear, when we have anxiety, and only then they can provide methods and ways by which our anxiety can be quieted. Here Vedanta shows us the way by which we can be completely free of fear, we can be completely free of desires, when we can be completely free of sorrow, free of anxiety, and live a very happy and self-reliant life in this world. Siddhyet na va iti asti, siddhyet na va iti asti dukkha. First, the sorrow is whether I will get it, whether I will be achieving what I wanted, or will I not achieve what I want. Suppose I don't achieve what I want. Asiddhau tat vivardate. That dukkha or that sorrow, at least in the beginning, it was only a guess game. But then finally, you know that you have not achieved, then the sorrow increases. Pratibandhe bhavet krodha. Suppose my desire is obstructed by something else, then it turns into that desire becomes intense and turns into anger. Dvesho va pratikulyatah. When the situation is not, when everything is conducive to me, the desire is going to manifest. I will be happy temporarily. But when the situation is unconducive to me, when people are unconducive, the circumstances are unconducive, then there is going to be more sorrow, experience of sorrow. अशक्यश्चेत् प्रतीकारः विषादस्यात् स तामसः क्रोधादिषु महद्दुःखं सुख शङ्कापि दूरतः. अशक्यश्चेत्, if I am not able to remove the obstacles. Earlier, if there is an obstacle, then I have sorrow. But then when there is an obstacle, even when people consult astrologers, then the astrologer says you are going to have a tough time. Then they ask the next question, what is a pariharam? What is a remedy that I can do that I can move this obstacle away from my life? I can create a different situation for myself. Parihar. Then the astrologer will say, go to this temple, 10:30 to 12 during Rahu Kala, you light a lamp for Durga, then your obstacle will be removed. Durga will take care of your obstacle, it will go away. But Ashakyasya, there are certain kinds of difficulties where even astrologers, even doctors cannot give the remedy. Ashakyasya pariharaha, pratikaraha. Pratikara means I do something else to remove that obstacle. Vishadaha syat nat satamasaha. That dukkha, that sorrow, vishada. Vishada is grief. Grief happens in a condition where I am not able to remove that sorrow. That is what happened to Arjuna. Arjuna faced a condition of mind where the sorrow was so deep, where he didn't want to fight the war because he had to kill his own members of family, relatives, and close friends. And others were in a condition where they had to die in the war. And this caused a lot of grief to Arjuna. He was not able to remove that grief. Pratikaraha vishadasyatsa tamasaha. That is tamasa. Even in inert conditions of mind, inert state of mind, grieving conditions of mind, the sukha of Brahman is not expressed. That is why whenever we go to houses where there is a death, there is no joy or smile in anybody's face, and it is inappropriate to smile also in that place because everybody is grieving. There is complete sorrow because there is tamas, there is inertia, there is a dead body there in that place. That is the power of tamas. That position of the dead body, the condition of the dead body can create the tamas all around the place. Tamasaha. Krodhadishu mahattukham. When we have anger, there is extreme sorrow because one point is we get anger because we are not able to achieve our desire. And because of anger, we have so many other problems. Our breath is very unstable. We don't experience, we are totally detached from the experience of joy. We can't experience joy. And because we are angry, we intensify the difficulties of our relationships, that the possibility of that desire being manifest also becomes very remote. Krodhadishu mahat dukkham. All these give a lot of sorrow for us. Sukha shankapi durataha. This sukha shanka, even a little bit doubt. Maybe I will experience some sorrow next moment or tomorrow. No, it is very, very far away. Dura is of two types. Dura is in space. Dura is also in time. When it is measured in time, it becomes when the joy, the expectation of joy, the fulfillment of joy is measured in time. It becomes in the future. The fulfillment of joy is measured in place. For example, when I go from this place to that place, I will meet the person, object, or situation that gives joy to me. That is dura in terms of space. Dura in terms of time is not today, but maybe tomorrow or maybe next year I will experience this joy that is in time, in the timeline. Sukha Shanka, even a little bit of doubt is not there that we will experience joy, which means we are never going to experience joy when the mind is in this condition of anger or grief. It is not possible to experience joy. 17th verse. Kamyalabhe harsha vrittihi shanta tatra mahat sukham bhoge mahattaram labha prasakta vishadevahi prasaktau ishadevahi. Kamya labhe. When I get desire for something, when I desire for something and I get the object of my desire, then there is a state of mind which is called harsha. Harsha means exhilaration. I am delighted. Shanta, tatra, mahat sukham. There is shanta also. There is a kind of peace which I experience, and that gives me extreme joy. Mahat sukham. Bhoge mahattaram labhaha. When I enjoy that object, suppose I want something and I get it, or I want something, I go to that place, I aspire for something, I get that promotion, bhoge, and I'm enjoying that promotion or enjoying that food or enjoying that state of mind with another person, experiencing, or that situation which I like, bhoge mahattaram sukham. Mahat tara, mahat tama. A little bit gradation of sukham is a little bit higher. Mahat sukham, big joy. Mahattaram is a little more joy. Bhoge. Prasaktau ishadevahi. Prasaktau. In that, one moment, kamyalabhe mahattaram sukham. Labha prasaktau. When I gain it, in the expectation of that gain, when I enjoy that, and in that period of for example, when I know that I like something, suppose again the same example of eggless chocolate cake, I like eggless chocolate cake, and I know that evening at 9 o'clock, my friend is going to bring me that eggless chocolate cake. So in expectation of that eggless chocolate cake, I experience joy till that time. Labha prasaktau isha devahi. There is a little joy even in that expectation. So when we attain also, when we enjoy also, when we expect also, there is joy. Because these are the three movements, modifications of the Anandamaya Kosha, or the body of bliss. That bliss body is the reflection of consciousness in our life, in our mind. That reflection is experienced as our feelings. That is a bliss body. In that feelings, there are three states of movements. One is priya. Priya is that movement happens when I think of my loved one, or when I think of something that I love. Moda is when that object of my love, object of my desire is coming close to me. Pramoda is when I completely enjoy that object of my desire. These are the three waves that we experience. But even in these rajasic joys, we experience because of the object. We think that we experience because of the object. The mind is become quiet only because the desire is removed. The desire which was there goes away when we gain the object. Because the desire goes away, we are experiencing joy. It is not because we experience the joy, we experience the joy because the desire is not. It is not because we experience the object, but because the desire goes away from the mind, we experience joy. A person says, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a car. Then he thinks about all the monetary possibilities to apply for loan to get a car. He talks to all his family members. He agitates everybody also. He says, I want to buy a car. Then you have not done anything for me. See that person, see this person. They want a car, their parents gave a car. What are you doing? What have you earned? What is it that you have left for? All these kinds of disturbances they create in themselves and in their surroundings, in their house. Then finally everybody works towards his it to fulfill that desire, and somehow he got the car, and he's taking the car out of the factory and his showroom, and he's driving it to his house with everybody else whom he agitated. So he is driving the car home because the desire has been met. The thought of the desire has left the person now. And because the thought of desire has left the person, he is experiencing happiness. And it is not the happiness because he is driving the car. The happiness is not because of the car, but the happiness is because the desire has left the person. So, very beautiful. When we study this so deeply, when we analyze all this, we will understand the psychology of desire, we will understand the anatomy of desire, we will understand the consequences of desire, and very soon we will start giving up desire in our life. Yad yad sukham bhavet tat tat brahmaiva pratibimbanat vrittishvan mukhastasya nirvignam pratibimbanam. It is so beautiful. How beautiful is it to study these verses. Yadyat sukham bhavet tattat brahma eva pratibimbanat. Whatever joy I experience, it is only because that Brahman, that supreme reality, that consciousness is reflected in the mind, in that quiet mind. Brahmasya Brahmaiva Pratibimbanat Vrittishu Antarmukhat Mukhasu Asya. When does Brahman reflect itself in the vritti, in the mind, in that state of mind? Vrittishu antarmukhas su asya. When the vritti or the movement of the mind is inward, it is turned towards the Brahman. It is like the Niagara waterfall. When the vritti or my mind is flowing inward into the pool of water beneath the Niagara, that when that vritti is, it gives so much of joy to see waterfalls. Why? The water is not scattered here. It doesn't give us any joy to see a puddle of water or a pool of water or water just dropped on the ground from a glass or a bottle. It does not give us joy. But when we see that Niagara waterfalls, when we see the Jog falls, when we see the Shimoga falls, when we see the Adirampalli falls, there's so much of joy because all the water is joining together and falling inside. And so the light of the sun is uniformly reflected on the water everywhere, and that gives so much of joy. In the same way, the power of the mind is flowing within antarmukhasu vritti asya. Since the power of the mind is completely flowing within, it is directed within, inside, the light of consciousness is reflecting on that mind, which is turned inward, and there is no desire, there is no distraction in that mind. So we experience a full presence of that reflection of the light of consciousness in the mind, and so we experience joy. Nirvignam pratibimbanam. That Pratibimba, the reflection is without any obstacles. There is no dirt, there is no breakage, there is no distraction in that mind. Consciousness is fully reflected in that mind, and so we experience joy. Sattachitis sukham cheti swabhava brahmanastrayah mritchiladishu sattaiva vyajyate netaradvayam. Satta chitihi sukham. Satta means sat. Sat means is. Water bottle is. Book is. Handkerchief, hand towel is. Notebook is. Letters are. Everything is or are or am. That is sat. Chit means knowledge. This is a water bottle. This is revealing itself as a hand towel. This is revealing itself as a book. This is notebook. This is revealing itself as a Panchadashi book. This is revealing itself as a paper. That is chit. Sukham is joy. Water bottle gives me joy? No, water bottle cannot give me joy because it is inert, tamas. Hand towel, it can be useful, but it need not necessarily be sparking joy in me. Sukham, does this give joy? No, it can be useful to me, but it cannot give joy because it is inert. Any inert object cannot give joy. Any disturbed object cannot give joy. It does not reflect joy. It does not reflect consciousness. Sukham is something that gives me joy. Chaiti. Brahman has got all these three qualities. Brahman is Sat. Sat means Brahman exists. Brahman is Chit. It reveals itself as a reality. Brahman is Sukha or Ananda. It gives joy. Mrit Shiladishu. In mud and in stone, Sattaiva Vyajyate. Only the Sat aspect of Brahman is revealed in mud and stone. Na itarat dvayam. Sukha is not, Sattaiva Vyajyate, na itarat dvayam. Chit and Ananda are not reflected in mud. Chit means that awareness of I am that life. The breathing aspect, the mud is not breathing, stone is not breathing, the chit aspect is not reflected. Like it is the identification with life is chit. And sukha or joy is not revealed. So to say that I have a stone image and I get joy out of that stone image is false because the joy is reflected only inside and it is not in the object. An inert object cannot manifest life or manifest joy. What happens to Rajas? Satta chitirdvayam vyaktam dhivrityor ghora mudhayoh shanta vrittau trayam vyaktam mishram brahmethamiritam. So Brahman has got Sat, Chit and Sukham. Sat alone is Sat, the Sat aspect of Brahman is reflected in inanimate objects. Sat aspect, which is basically Mrit and Shila. Shila means stone, Mrit means mud. Only the Sat aspect of Brahman is reflected, meaning it is, Brahman is, something is, we say there stone is, we say wall is, we say cupboard is, flag is, or peacock feathers are, the flower vase is, the idol is, the Sat aspect alone is revealed. Satta chitihi dvayam vyaktam. In where the two aspects of Brahman are revealed, in dhi vritti, in the modifications of my mind, Sat also is there. The isness is there. I am angry. I am experiencing joy. I am experiencing grief. I am experiencing sorrow. The isness is revealed in the dhivritti of Ghora and Mudha. Ghora means Rajas and Mudha means Tamas. Satta Chiti. The Chiti means the Chit or consciousness. The revelation of what it is revealed. The difference between anger, difference between the feeling of hatred, the difference in the feeling of jealousy. Anger is not jealousy. Jealousy is not misery. Misery is not grief. Grief is not sorrow. These differences are revealed. Chit. Where are they revealed? Dhivruttayaha. In the movements of the intellect, in the buddhi. What types of movements? Gora, Mudha. Gora means rajasic, Mudha means tamasic. Tamasic means it relates to the body and body consciousness. Rajasic means the likes and dislikes of the mind. Shanta vrittau trayam vyaktam. In the calm state of mind, Shanta vritti, all three of Brahman, Sat, Chit and Ananda are expressed. Mishram, Brahma, Itham, Iritam. So that is why the Brahman, which is mixed with Rajas, Tamas and Sattva, is called Mishra Brahman. It is not the supreme Brahman, unmixed Brahman. It is not the Brahman which is not touched by anything. It is the Brahman that is manifesting through Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So the idols, mud and stone express only the Sat aspect of Brahman. The thoughts of Rajas and Tamas, the movements of the Rajasic and Tamasic mind manifest the Sat and Chit aspect, meaning existence and knowledge aspect of Brahman. The Sattvic Vritti, meaning calmness, quietness, fortitude, beauty, serenity, manifests Sat, Chit and Ananda. The 21st verse. Amishram jnana yogabhyam tau cha purvam udiritau Adyodhyaye yoga chinta jnanam adhyaya yordvayo. Brahman, which is not associated with thoughts, is known as knowledge and yoga. Amishram, without attachment to any thoughts. What is it called? The Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. That Brahman is called Jnana and that Brahman is called Yoga. Adya Adhyaye Yoga Chinta Jnanam Adhyayayor Dvayoho. So, Yoga and Jnana have been addressed in other chapters. This does not give us any other, we have to go to those chapters previously. Here, Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomanandaji explains very beautifully. Thoughts being subtle reflect both existence and consciousness. Thoughts exist and they know the objects. It's very important to understand this. Thoughts are aware of objects. Objects means that we experience through our sense organs is an object, and thoughts are aware of the object. Thoughts exist and they know the objects. The agitated and the dull do not express bliss, but the serene ones, being subtle, express all three aspects of reality. So since Brahman is talked about in association with the thoughts, it is called Mishra Brahman. Asatta jadya dukkhe dve maya rupam trayam tvidam asatta narashringadau jadyam kashta shiladishu. We will look into these, the remaining verses from 23 up to 33, I think, in this Panchadashi, the 15th chapter, 35 verses. We look into them tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaham, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। हर नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम।